We have a major Los Angeles Lakers trade update to go over today as a new report has dropped revealing Rob Pelinka's trade plans. We're going to break down the report because what it entails has Lakers fans fired up. So stay tuned for all that in this episode. But before we get into it, a quick reminder, if you're part of the 83% who aren't subscribed to the channel, we're approaching 5,000 subscribers. If you want to help us towards that goal and you're enjoying the daily Lakers content, sometimes multiple videos a day, this is the place to be. So make sure to smash that subscribe button. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today, and a lot of reports have started to flood surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers and what Rob Pelinka's trade plans are. And a new report has dropped, and this one has fans fired up because it's not exactly what Lakers fans want to hear in this moment. We're going to dive into that as well as some other rumors that have been circulating surrounding a lot of different players. But I want to start with, and there's going to be a blockbuster trade, which we'll get into later, but I want to start with this here. So there's multiple different updates here, but this dropped from Bleacher Report that LA is waiting to see Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent on the court together before rushing into a deal. And there's a lot of different things here. You can see here, LA wants to see a second unit before making a move. The good news is that we can expect another big trade here soon. So this doesn't mean that a big trade isn't going to happen. It just means that at the moment, Pelinka is leaning towards seeing that second unit healthy in Jared Vanderbilt, of course, mainly, and Gabe Vincent before they make another big splash. And we've discussed the Dorian Finney-Smith trade. He's starting to look more and more comfortable with each game, and that happens with a lot of these role players, especially ones that, had maybe a bit of a bigger role in Brooklyn, and now he's coming over here. He's still going to have a huge role, but in a bit of a different way. Not as much scoring prowess, more so obviously playing defense and hitting the occasional three. But when you're looking at what this report entails, Pelinka obviously has faith in their starting unit, and they want to see what Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent can do. I think that we've already saw to a degree what Gabe Vincent can do, although he's been hotter as of late before he went out with an injury again. Jared Vanderbilt, on the other hand, has been out with an injury for a while, and he, when he's rolling, he's a very solid, defensive wing. However, we haven't really seen that. We obviously haven't seen that at all this year because he's been out the whole year injured. But now that he is nearing a return, according to multiple reports, I guess it does make sense for Rob Pelinka to want to wait and see before making big splashes. When you're looking at what kind of moves now that they make, you don't want them to wait, and then miss out on some of the players here. Because again, Walker Kessler is likely not available. The Lakers don't value a backup center as much as we think they should. Things can change, a lot of time left, but it's probably time to move on to other options. So regarding a backup center, it kind of, coincides with this report because they're not going to rush into a deal for a bench big or really at this moment a backup, shooting guard, point guard, whatever it ends up being. And as you start to look at the Lakers' most well-rounded lineup, shout out to who posted this on Twitter. I forget his name, but obviously it's Reaves, Christie, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD. And we've yet to see a starting lineup like this, but we've seen a lineup like this, not starting, but obviously throughout the game in the last game they played. And you're looking at how good, this lineup spaces the floor. You have Austin Reaves, an above-average three-point shooter. Matt Christie, above-average three-point shooter. And then DFS, everyone here besides AD is above-average three-point shooter. And, of course, as a center, AD, as long as he can shoot the three a little bit, the pros, playmaking, great three-point shooting, three-level defense, cons isn't really any major con. I would say, I'm still not entirely sold, and this might be a hot take, on Max Christie being a championship-level shooting guard. I do think, though, he is a very good defender, and he fits really well alongside these players. And I think he can be. This is not any sort of hater throwing any shade towards Max Christie. That's just the one question mark for this lineup. Would they benefit from someone who's a bit more explosive? However, they do have, there's only one ball, and they have LeBron who, demands the ball and is a great scorer, obviously. AD, same thing. Austin Reaves has really developed this season, both defensively, but primarily as a facilitator, something we haven't seen in a while. And you have good, facilitating with Austin Reaves, with LeBron James. You have great three-point shooting. You have great defense, specifically with your two and, your shooting guard, small forward, and your center. And even Austin Reaves is a very good defender as well. So it's like 1 through 5, great defensively, great shooting, great floor spacing. The question is, do they have enough? And mainly off the bench, because of course this starting lineup, I think if they start to transition into this starting lineup, I think is good enough to make a bit of a run here. And the second unit's the big question. Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent. And a new report has dropped surrounding a trade. And it is a big trade, but I want to bring this up specifically to mention Colin Sexton. So you can see this here. The LA Lakers will get Sexton, Kessler, and Patty Mills. And again, take this one with a grain of salt because at this time it seems that Walker Kessler, unless for a huge package, wouldn't be available. So it's Sexton, Kessler, and Patty Mills for Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood, basically a bunch of salary fill and all their firsts and some trade exceptions. So it's interesting. And the removal of the protection on the first round pick in 2027. They're also giving up their 2029 and 2031 first rounders. So you're getting I mean, you're completely solving your bench problem. You have Walker Kessler, you have Colin Sexton, and of course, veteran Patty Mills, who doesn't really play at this point. Sexton would be a complicated decision for the Lakers. And this is the biggest point I want to bring up, because when you're looking at what they're going to do, and we all know a big move is going to come soon, I think Sexton is an interesting guy here. We'll have another video breaking down the fit, and how well it fits. But I think for the second unit that does need some more scoring, obviously you have guys like Dalton, Knecht. Sexton would be an interesting fit. And again, the team has been successfully relying heavily on the offensive creation of LeBron and AR, but do the Lakers need another dynamic offensive creator? Because this would not give you any help defensively. But if you do this, you could also, of course, slide him into the starting lineup and then move Max Christie to the bench, whatever way you want to go. This season is averaging 17 and 3, shooting great from 3. Now, the thing is, with this specific, trade and just acquiring Colin Sexton in general, again, your defense is not great. And also, he's playing on a very poor Utah Jazz team. So his usage is higher than it would be. Here, he'll probably come and average, 11 or 12 points a game. And again, he's only 26 years old. He has a lot of things to do. And he has a lot of career left in him. And maybe he could be a part of that future, similar to Walker Kessler. And you'd be able to, in any proposed blockbuster scenario like this, and we've seen crazier things happen, but in any blockbuster trade scenario like this, you're getting Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler. Those are two guys that you can build around alongside AD, alongside AR, all these different things. And yeah, you are giving up your first, so then you'd have to value, one, is Walker Kessler and Colin Sexton worth 2 first-round picks and the removal of a top 4 protection? And 2, do you see these guys as helping put you over the top this year with, of course, your LeBron, your AD, filled lineup that you have right now? That is the biggest question mark. And the reports are coming out, instead of frantically hunting for a third star or pushing the chips in on a starting caliber center, the Lakers' rival executives believe will move in a different way than it might have seemed earlier in the season. So that doesn't seem like they're going to go for a huge blockbuster trade, which this isn't. I think this would be, it's a pretty big trade. You're giving up your first, but you're not acquiring that huge star that Rob Pelinka might be hesitant to acquire. You're basically just shoring up the weak points on your team regarding getting one of the best defensive bigs in the game in Walker Kessler, getting a very good bench score in Colin Sexton, who's also 26 years old. And yeah, you're giving up your first round picks well into the future, but if you're going to win now and you're trying to win now alongside, of course, LeBron, AD, and whoever else you have, they already acquired Dorian Finney-Smith, it would be a very interesting thing to see. And ultimately, the plan is to see how the second unit does. I don't think they're going to wait very long, though. If a proper trade comes up, we know they have never been hesitant to make a big...
You pause?
No, I'm just gonna get it. We know they aren't, hesitant and haven't been hesitant to make a big move. So that's going to be... We know they haven't been hesitant in the past to make a big move. So that's going to be the biggest question mark for this team going forward, is how they go about dealing with their next move. They made the big one for Dorian Finney-Smith. They look very solid. There are some things they need to continue to improve on, specifically regarding the bench depth, and all those things. But we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know down below, is this a trade you would be interested in? And what are your thoughts on the recent report of, them waiting and not rushing a deal in order to see how Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt do? Thank you guys for watching. See you later.